Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Office Hours, and I'm here with my good friend, John Bielenberg. John Bielenberg, okay, we're going to talk a lot. We have a lot to talk about because we've known each other for a long time, but I get to start with a song. So, John Bielenberg. What rhymes with John? Which rhymes with Bielenberg? Bielenberg, German name, Bielenberg. If you want to think right, no. I'm making it up, so I have to. If you want to do right, think wrong, says John. If you want to be right, just try, says John. If you want to be whatever you feel, be John. Because John Bielenberg, you've always been such an example to me because it seems like you do what feels right for you.
Yeah, I wish.
And it's the great mystery of how do you make a living doing all these things that you're passionate about. So I want to know the answers to all these questions, and so do all of our millions of viewers out there.
I had a career in graphic design, and I think about my career like a ladder. And it's like, get out of school, get a job, move to San Francisco, do good work, have your own firm, win awards. And then I got to a place where I wasn't at the top, but I could see the top. And I was looking, I was like, I'm not sure this is it. I talk about it like you're trying on a jacket at a store and everyone goes, that's a great jacket. And you're like, yeah, really? You should get that. It looks good on you. And so the career of graphic design it fit, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel right to me.
The price tag wasn't quite right.
Yeah. And so at that time, I was just questioning, this is like mid-90s, what am I doing? Am I just greasing the wheels of capitalism using design for branding and stuff like that? But still running my firm, which was going fine. And I had this client in the investment business, and they had hired a behavioral psychologist from Cornell to help them evaluate how other investment managers were victims of what they called their heuristic biases.
Heuristic?
Heuristic biases.
That's a big word.
It means all of us follow pathways in our brain, these neural pathways and synaptic connections that connect over time. And so you get an input and your brain just follows automatically to a behavior.
Right.
So me talking right now, I don't have to kind of think about how to vocalize. I just have a thought and do it. It's because these pre-existing pathways. So this firm was going, how are these other investment managers following existing pathways, making predictable decisions? And I started thinking about the creative process and how I bet we do that too. So we have this assumption that we're all creative, but we're actually just following pre-existing pathways to predictable solutions. And this light bulb went off, and I was like, if you want to be creative and innovative, you can't just follow the existing pathways. So how do you disrupt that? So that's what I called thinking wrong.
Oh, I love that because that's something that here at Tether we think about a lot because especially when you're starting to work with a client in a new industry and they go, well, have you had experience in like the hotel industry? And it's like, no, but we have in the restaurant and the other areas of hospitality. And well, so what's the advantage of not having experience in that particular area? Well, you're not doing another version of something you've already done.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
So I'd never thought of it quite that way, but that's kind of what you're doing. If you've designed only orange juice your whole life, and then someone asks you to design a new orange juice, you're going to start with what you already know about orange juice,
and
for instance.
It's not like you go, oh, I'm going to do a predictable solution. Your mind conspires against you. Right. Because it will follow those pathways.
The comfortable pathway that it's already...
Also, culture will conspire against you. So when you get a lot of minds all thinking along pre-existing pathways, like at that orange juice company, even though what they say is we want to be the Tesla of orange juice, they're actually constricted by the universe of possible solutions.
Right.
And there's a weird catch-22 where almost every client wants to stand out. They don't want to be part of the herd, but they make decisions that almost guarantee that they're in the universe of the herd, right? And so that's kind of this, you have to think wrong to get out of that orthodoxy.
I'm kind of not kidding about how do you make a living, because John does these amazing things like Project M he takes students who just graduate from college and takes them to rural Alabama or Detroit, and they come up with something to help the community or to solve a problem. So you're always doing things like that, and that seems to be the majority of what you do. And here I am, making money if I do it at work for amazing companies, but but I'm kind of jealous and admire it, and wish I could find ways to do more. Do you have any advice for those of us that feel like we have to, take paying things to make a living?
Yeah, well, I do that as well. But I think there was a point where I had made not enough, but close to enough, and then it was like, do I just keep going? Do I stay on this hamster wheel and just go, 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 go? Or, do I move domain, decrease my cost of living, and then have more choice? And that's when I started Project M. And so it's just a matter of where is that balance where you've got enough that you can cover the things you need and still allow you to do these things that don't generate any income. And it's a constant ebb and flow.
So we need to move to Maine.
That's part of it.
And you have to save enough still to buy enough motorcycles and bicycles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, so you got to keep your priorities straight, too.
Yeah.
Well, John, I love hanging around you. You're a great friend and have been for a long time. And John and I feel there's some, I don't know how to say this in a manly way, but John and I, we text 10 times a day. We send pictures to each other all the time of our selfies. So we're kind of like teenage girls, I would say, more than 50-something-year-old men, but I think that's what's fun. I think that's part of disrupting our synapses, getting out of our heuristic bias, if I may say that. Well, thank you for coming.
Sure.
It's really a pleasure to have you here at Tether in Seattle.
Yeah.
So cool.
Happy to be here.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.